of regular meetings adopted by this board on January 5th, 2026. Such schedule and notice of meetings posted in the municipal building, the Mount Olive Library, the Board of Education offices. The six schools were admitted to the daily record of publication on January 6th, 2026, and was filed with the clerk of Mount Olive Township on January 6th, 2006. A revised notice was submitted on January 30th, 2026. I direct that this announcement be entered into the minutes of the meetings. Roll, Nicole.
Mrs. Aquino?
Here.
Mrs. Brett?
Here.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mrs. Melendez?
Here.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Orzillo? Mr. Petrie?
Here.
Mrs. Figuera?
Here.
Dr. Giordano?
Here, and I apologize, it's Ms. Shoney. Ms. Aquino, can I have approval of the minutes?
Upon recommendation of the superintendent, I'd like to move action items 3.1 and 3.2.
Second.
Question or comments from the board? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Shoney.
Mrs. Aquino?
Yes.
Mr. Petrie?
Yes.
Mrs. Brett?
Yes.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendez?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mrs. Figuera?
Yes.
Dr. Giordano?
Yes. Communication petitions from the superintendent?
None.
From any board members? Thank you. We're moving to reports and discussions. Superintendent report.
At this time, I'm going to turn to Ms. Shoney because we're doing our audit.
Good evening, everyone. We finished our audit year ending June 30th, 2025, and tonight we have our auditor, Matthew Wilcox, who's going to present our audit for this year.
A little short here. Oh, is it on?
Yep.
Hello? Good?
Guys, is the mic on over here?
It's on.
All right, it's on. There we go.
Now it's off. Now it's off.
All right, I hear it.
Do you?
The speakers, guys, please give your audit. The speakers are facing the audience. They can hear. Go ahead.
Okay, beautiful. All right. I am not in the IT world. I'm an accountant, so now I can hear myself. So my name is Matthew Wilcox from Wilcox & Company. I'm a member. I want to thank the board president, vice president, the rest of the board for having us here. It's always a pleasure. I'm here to present the 2024-2025 audit, which is in front of you. A small book and a large book. The small book kind of brings our administrative findings and kind of the bigger picture, and in the small big book in the back, you'll see all of the detailed account information that is very hard to understand. President Giordano said keep this short and sweet, under 5 minutes. I probably couldn't do 5 minutes if I wanted to on this because it doesn't need that. This was a great audit. There were two very immaterial findings, which are compliance. It has to do with some differences in the ASSA. A very limited number. Out of, I think, 6,000 people, there was maybe 6 where we couldn't verify. Again, I've never been to a district where I haven't had a finding like this, especially one this size. I want to say thank you to Dr. Benjia, Shoney, team great. We had a really great time, and we got the audit done. I do want to talk about, one of the things I like to talk about this year is just where school budgets are. I know you're seeing a lot of things all over the state. Unfortunately, I am involved in a lot of those things. My job primarily is to, I've gotten older, is kind of go follow situations. Hopefully this district does not have them. I've been spending a lot of my professional time dealing with that other places. What I will say about, if you look at the balance sheet of the district, our reserves are very strong here. We got about $7.3 million in capital reserve, just under $1 million in maintenance reserve, and our fund balance for the governmental funds is $17 million. These numbers are great. What I do want to just caution the board on that, the cost of services, the cost of health benefits, collective bargaining, even though we have strong reserves, we're really one problem away from being in a big shoe. So you have a great team here. I know, value the financial statements and the budget as it is our own personal, so that's great, but just I don't want to be here next year going through a situation where it's not the case. I don't think that's going to happen, but I am saying that at all of my meetings because the state of finances for all governments are very, very tough right now.
Appreciate that. Any questions or comments from the board? Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're moving to committee reports. We'll start with personnel. Personnel met tonight. It was myself, Mr. Moore, Dr. Banja, Mr. Aquino, Mr. Petrie. The board will start seeing, starting on the agenda and following agendas, possibly period coverages for classes. The administration is doing their due diligence in trying to replace teachers or that we need teachers in and subjects, but until we get those people hired, we will have to cover those classes with our staff that contractual will get a 7th period. So those will be coming down the line on the agendas. We need to go into session tonight for numerous things that cannot be discussed right now in open session. And then we got a district hiring vacancies. We're looking for 2 full-time tenure positions, an elementary speech language pathologist position, middle school ELA teacher. So anyone can pass along that information, go on our Apple track, go from there. And I believe that was all we had except for closed session. Anyone else from the personnel committee? Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? Thank you. Finance committee report, Ms. Fitzgerald.
Yes. Finance, is that, yeah, there we go. Finance met February 3rd. Attendance was myself, Dr. Gia, Ms. Schoening, and Ms. Petrie. Some of the things discussed, very appropriate given our most recent presentation. First of all, obviously budget for the upcoming year. Ms. Schoening shared with us during her CUSAC visit with the county office that we should be prepared for a decrease in state funding that's going to amount to about $1.2 million. The good news is, as he shared, we have great reserves and we'll also prepare us with flat budgeting system this year. But it's one of the things that we're trying to be super conservative because, to his point, any given time, right? We've all seen headlines, we've all seen what's happening with the school district, so we're really trying to be cognizant of that. So administration has been advised that we're closing the 25-26 budget on March 1st. And so, purchases are any final purchases will be entered this month. Dr. Bangia and Ms. Huffman met with Isabel Machado of the Machado Log, as you know, and they discussed who is assigned to our account, if you will, our key person moved on. NJ Cool Grant, we're still working on that. No real updates on it. Document storage, I think I told you guys last time, we are coming into, I don't know what century really would make us. I think we're finally making everything digital, which is amazing. And so the vendor who's going to be doing the document storage for us is coming to the high school to review the amount of student records that need to scan, and then they'll produce a quote for that. They kind of see what we have, and I cannot imagine what that entails. Like, it's a lot of files, you guys, that all have to be digitized. And then in addition, the recs are being transported from the whole barn to administration building number 2. There we are here. Yep, where we are personal and business records which are going to be stored there. So it'll be nice and climate controlled, and they can be reviewed. And then we're going to go through and I think make sure, is there anything that we can dispose of as well? Do we have to keep everything? As you know, we talked about you have to keep personal records for 100 years. Anything else besides that they can dispose of? Demographic and capacity studies both are going to be completed by the end of this month, and then we'll get to have that presentation. Tins Road parking lot, we have proposals that are due the 11th, I believe. I don't know what day. Yeah, so in 2 days. We have a meeting about modulars because, like I've said, it's a fancy way of saying trailers. And we are going to be meeting with the architect on that on the 11th. As we shared, those of you who remember, it's going to be at the middle school. It's to be in a lovely strip of land near where there's a lovely water hookup. It just happens to be this perfect spot to be covered. It'll be an easy water hookup, and our student will have health class there, which means everybody will have an opportunity to have class in the trailer. All the more reason we have to get to work on this referendum. And then the committee is discussing plans to update the guidance suite. So Board of Ed folks will be looking towards the current high school guidance suite to understand needs, what should be done there. Architect reviews, we have that meeting tomorrow for the board, where we will be reviewing those proposals. And I think anything missing? You guys, Ms. Shining, anything? We're good. Finance, anybody? Any questions?
Questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Fitzgerald.
Of course.
Ms. Figuera, Curriculum and Technology?
Good evening, everybody. The CNT committee, making
That's
sure
my
everybody's
line.
paying
Hey,
attention.
that's my line.
The CNT committee met on February 4th at 5:30. All committee members were present. We did have a special guest, which was Jackie Bello. And she presented the district potentially transitioning to the Insight Health Wellness Service for next school year. Insight Health partners with school districts to provide on-site and virtual mental health services for students, helping schools address growing social, emotional, and behavioral needs. Their model reduces the need for out-of-district placements. We also had Mrs. McDermott and Dr. Bangia review data trends of the current 6th grade team to review the impact of an additional 4th team being added. Data relieved decreased disciplinary incidents, improved attendance and achievement within the classroom. The district is currently exploring expanding to a 4th team in grade 7 starting in our upcoming school year. We also reviewed the request for a new club at our middle school. Mrs. McDermott discussed how the district is already compliant with the new state cursive mandate. Cursive instruction is already embedded within the new benchmark writing lessons, so we are covered there. Mrs. McDermott discussed the district's move toward a more consistent, self-contained instructional model in grade 5 to strengthen coherence, equity, and instructional effectiveness. This shift supports the intentional integration of ELA, social studies, science, and writing, an essential component of our newly adopted Benchmark Advanced ELA program, which emphasizes knowledge building and literacy across content areas. Currently, not all of our 5th grade classrooms are departmentalized. So a self-contained model would maximize instructional time, allowing for flexible pacing, and it better aligns daily instruction to standards and learning goals while maintaining high expectations for our students. Mrs. McDermott reviewed the district practice, ensuring that all students, regardless of financial ability, have access to musical instruments. The district now pays the instrumental rental fee for students who are receiving free or reduced lunch. The district actually only pays for half the cost of the rental fees because the Music Den so generously donated the other half of the rental fee. So thank you to them. Mrs. McDermott reviewed the shift in the February 13th PD schedule due to the students being present for a half-day schedule now. And finally, we wrapped up with Mrs. McDermott reviewing the adjustment in the Mount Olive High School quarterly exams. The high school will take a pause on administering the exams in the 3rd marking period and will focus on recalibrating their exams for the 4th marking period. Does anybody have any questions?
Questions or comments from the board?
Yes, I just want to say that the date on here is wrong.
Yeah.
I pointed that out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So just to clarify, when we talk about 5th grade self-contained, we're going back to traditional model in which the same teacher teaches all the subject areas, just to clarify that.
Any other questions or comments from the board members? Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Figuera. Policy and Governance Committee report.
Policy committee didn't meet prior to this meeting.
Super, thank you. Subcommittees, parent-teacher organizations. Did anyone meet?
I have something.
Yeah, Ms. Figuera.
Anybody else have anything? Okay.
I think you're the only one.
Alrighty then, let me see. Give me a minute.
Anthony, Amy's here for CPAC.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
please
yeah.
go
So
first.
go first then if
so
you
I
wanna
can
go. Go ahead.
find my notes.
Yeah, super.
Thanks, Amy.
Perfect timing.
So hi, I am Amy Marini. You guys are all in different seats, so I wanted to at least say hello. Some of you guys are familiar with me, others I'm a new face. I am the co-leader for the CPAG, which stands for Special Education Parent Advisory Group. We are a New Jersey code-driven group that's parent-led. And so we collaboratively work with the district on all aspects of topics related to special education and the special educational needs of our students. We do meet the second Tuesday of every month via Zoom. And we actually meet tomorrow. I know I haven't been here for a couple meetings, so I apologize. But in December, we had Michelle Lockwood from All In for Inclusive Education come and kind of give an overview of inclusive education and some of the different aspects of ways that we could integrate in all the different aspects of all of that stuff. January's meeting had to be unfortunately had to be canceled for some medical things, and so our next meeting is tomorrow. We have the Mount Olive Connect and Protect program. They work with the Mount Olive PD for mental health, and so they're coming to present on their program. In the meantime, I did attend SEAC. So SEAC stands for the New Jersey State Special Education Advisory Council, and so they meet, actually they just changed their settings last year to be every month again, or every month or so. It's an extremely informative meeting. I attend the public. I'm not part of the council by any stretch of the imagination, but I attend just the public portion of it. It's tons of information, all pertaining to special education across the whole state. Basically, CPAGs report to them, essentially, in the grand scheme, and they report to the Department of Ed. There's so many people that come to talk at this meeting. It's a little bit overwhelming if you're not familiar with all of the different things that they discuss, but some of the stuff that they talked about at the January 15th meeting that's pertinent for you guys, I did send out, just for you guys to know why I randomly sent you the CPAG guide from SPAN, or from the state rather, as well as the Excel document that's just a living document on Google of all the links that they share during the meeting. I share with you guys so that way you can see all of the different things that are happening. So there's way more on there than what I'm going to talk about. But the hot topics that I pulled from this was that there were changes to due process mediation and settlement agreements, that New Jersey was cited by the U.S. OSEP about settlement agreements not being in line with FAPE, so the Fair Appropriate Public Education. And so there's a whole lot more guidance on that, but that's kind of a hot topic. And that things will be reviewed in a different way as of January 1st. So things, I'm sure hopefully there's not too many, but you never know. They also talked about the New Jersey Inclusion Project, which was a presentation from All In, which conveniently we had just had them present in December. And so they talked about their three-prong approach to supporting development of in the least restrictive environment to really work on those inclusion models. So leadership development, technical assistance in schools, and then how to help make that systemic change for facilitation. They talked about a whole slew of other things with regards to the indicators, which makes my brain get a little confused, but they are very pertinent information. And then they talked a lot about least restrictive environment with regards to considerations for placing students who are deaf or hard of hearing, which is, they had a whole guidance come out last year with regards to how to help really work with students that are deaf or hard of hearing. And so this was like a whole presentation about how those students should be placed, and how just because they may or may not have access to certain education doesn't mean that they require a lower level of academic needs because they're deaf and hard of hearing. And so really that access to language is really the important, and language could be sign language, and so having that access. And so it was informative. They meet, I think, I don't know if it's this Thursday or next Thursday, but they meet again soon for SEAC. So that is it for me for now.
Question or comments from the board? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Figuera, if you have your notes ready.
I'm ready to go. Okay, so the big announcement from the FPTA is that today they launched a calendar fundraiser. It is a school-wide fundraiser. I believe that packets went home today with the students, and they each were given 5 tickets that they can either sell to others or families can buy for themselves. This is going to be a big fundraiser, so we really want to give it as much attention as possible. If you're interested in buying tickets, you can see any student at Mountain View School to purchase yours, or you can contact the FPTA. The After the Bell program starts this week. Our yearly girls' dance will be held this Thursday night at the middle school. Tomorrow they are having an assembly with the Liberty Science Center. And the yearly boys' dance is scheduled to be held on March 13th.
Question or comments from the board? Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Figuera. There is no board president's report. Public comments on action items. Members of the community may comment on any action item prior to board discussion. Please state your name and address for the record. All comments must be respectfully presented. Abusive or obscene comments will not be tolerated. Please address all comments to the board president, and this will not be a back and forth. We'll open it up, ask your questions, comments. We will close public comment, and then we will try to answer the questions as best we can. If we can't, someone will get back to the public the next day. Please come up, state your name and address for the record.
Martin Wells Muller, 25 Woodcrest Ave, Bud Lake, New Jersey. Sorry I missed last week's meeting, or 2 weeks ago. Had to go down to Florida to get the cold weather down there, which was not fun. I just want to find out the status, since we're paying our bills, on the energy audit that was put out there, if it's been completed and if we found areas to save. I know it was mentioned last time, and since it's one of our bills on the action items, I wanted to ask that question. And number two, and we are in the process. Where is it? Action item 8.4. My question is in the past, some individuals have gotten information from past board members that were used to come up here and speak and complain. And my question is, certain individuals, are we making them sign confidentiality agreements when they come to work for the district, when even their spouses work for the state as well in a department that could come down on Mount Olive? And that's something that I really thought would be something of interest, that maybe certain people, based on family relationships, if they work for the state in the Department of Education and Special Needs, and if they're working in a department addressing our special needs, that there's a confidentiality agreement signed to make sure that what happens in the district stays in district and doesn't go home over pillow talk with his wife. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, when it says salary and then you have a date range, that's an annual salary, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And the last question I have is, one of the speakers that spoke, she mentioned about SEAC, the meeting. Can I ask a question about that, since she brought it up as one of the speakers? It's like, I don't know if it's considered an action item or not.
It's not an action item. You can bring it up at the next open subject if you want. Is it an action item?
Yeah, well, I just want to ask how many of our staff go to it. That's basically what it was going to come down to.
SEAC, I don't believe we have any staff members go to SEAC. They go to CPAG. CPAG will invite some of our staff members to attend. You go to SEAC? Yeah, Ms. O'Neill goes.
All right. Well,
Staff members, it's a public organization. Anyone can go to it. I don't know off the top of my head if any of our staff members go to it.
why wouldn't they? Because I know there's a lot of stuff brought up there, which is very important, especially in our town with the amount of special needs that we have. I'm actually surprised that we don't have some employees go there. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, one more. Go ahead.
I never get responses back from any of my questions. So that would be amazing if we actually got them. Because I've been doing this for years, and not once have I ever got a response back after my questions posed at the mic. Just for the record.
Thank you for that. So to go back to status of the energy audit, do we have that, Ms. Showing? Do we know the status, or Dr. Banjo?
Can I respond?
Absolutely.
Okay. We are, Bender is still working on it. They're working on our HVAC units right now, and they're also going to be doing a lighting audit too. So that should be done over the next few weeks, and we're going to take it from there. We're, the vendor that we're using for the HVAC audit, Mantis, they're also our energy broker. So I'll be working with them over the next few months, going out to bid again for that, and they are looking into those items that you're questioning.
To answer your question on 8.4, we do not, unless to my knowledge, Mr. Gebber, jump in here. We do not require. I don't even know if it's legal to have members sign a confidentiality agreement. They are under a professional standard, and when we hire people to our district, they are spoken to by either the building principal or Mr. Moore about what the expectations are and what is acceptable if you live in town, what's acceptable to be said in town. We have had issues in the past, without going into detail with it, where staff members have been brought in when they have privy to some information and it's been set out there, and we've had gotten wind of it, that has happened. The staff members have been addressed appropriately through the contract. With that, the annual salary you were answered on, and I answered number 2. SEAC, we can look into that if you want to see if any of our staff members do that. And you've got your answers. So we're going to move it on.
Can I just add, as
Yes.
far as a practice of the district now, before anyone who actually gets hired for the district, they go through something called Super Tuesday with Mr. Moore, in which all our policies and procedures are reviewed. And as far as ensuring that they're aware of expectations and they work here, so all things are covered before their actual employment starts here.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, no, I closed it down, so that's it. Sorry about that, everybody. Mr. Petrie, will you make a motion for personnel action items?
On personal, or are we doing all of them?
Personnel. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, I apologize. We're going to do a consent agenda. I apologize. Mr. Petrie, will you make a motion, the consent agenda 7.1, all the way down to 11.10?
On the recommendation of the superintendent, I move to approve action items 7.1 through 11.10.
Second.
Questions or comments from the board? Anybody?
Oh,
Good.
I would just, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Just to abstain on 12-4-114 and recuse myself on 23-14.
Anyone else? We get that, Ms. Showing?
What are you abstaining on?
12414.
Is that?
I was on the bill list. Are we on the bill
is that
list?
reimbursement?
Oh, I'm sorry, on the bill list. Okay, it's the bill
Okay,
list.
So you're citing the bill.
Still the bill list, okay.
7.1.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you, Ms. Brett.
we got it.
I was looking at that too. I was like, we don't have 12.
Man,
I
that's
was
a
like,
long,
that's
that's a
long.
long agenda.
Right.
We're in the thousands there.
Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Showing? Showing?
Mr. Petrie?
Abstain from 7.3, 7.4, and 8.4. Yes to everything else.
Mrs. Aquino?
Yes.
Mrs. Brett?
Yes, as mentioned before.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendez?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Abstain from anything for Christian Humphrey or special ed, yes to everything else.
Mrs. Figuera?
Yes.
Dr. Giordano?
Yes on everything except the professional development for myself on 8.1, and yes to everything else.
Okay.
Public comments. Students, parents, employees, and community members may comment on any item of interest pertaining to the Mount Olive School District. Please state your name and address for the record. All comments must be respectfully presented. Abusive or obscene comments will not be tolerated. Once again, address the board president, state your name and address, and we'll open it up. Write down all your questions or comments, and we'll close it, and then we will go about answering your questions. If we can't answer them tonight, we will have someone from the administration respond tomorrow.
Martin Wellsmuller, 25 Woodcrest Avenue, Bud Lake, New Jersey. I also noticed in today's early, and one of the policies, we were referencing the nepotism policy. I've asked in the past about conflicts of interest. I brought up in past board members. Obviously, I've asked Mr. Giordano to seek an advisory opinion on an issue that I think could basically put him at risk. I want to find out if anything has been done with that, all right? And also, I email the board, which I say are correspondence. How come when people email the board, the answer is you don't get correspondence when you actually do have correspondence? All right? And then lastly, is I know tomorrow now that we have a special meeting regarding the architect, because I didn't say that in the announcement, at least that I saw. My question is, when you went out for the RFP, how was it sent out and how was it published? Was it just given out to select vendors, or did you put it out on the state's website for RFPs? And I think that's all I have at this point.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public?
Hi there, Amy Marini, 3 Melissa Trail in Long Valley, but my daughter's out of district placed here in Mount Olive. I have 2 policy questions. One, I've not done deep dives, and I don't know where they are in the revision status, so I'll start with that. But the first one is about this new cell phone law. I'm not asking anything special or anything like that. I just would ask that when or if you guys do draft a policy, that you take into consideration kids that use assistive technology or augmentative communication devices that might be provided from their families to access their curriculum, as well as to access their ability to communicate. So I just hope that that would be a clause within the policy to ensure that those kids still have access to those devices, both for speech and access to communication, as well as access to their curriculum. So that's my policy question. My second one is about privacy. So my understanding, just to give you background, so my daughter's moderately verbal, not verbal enough to tell me students' names that she interacts with in school. And so I asked if I could get first names only to be able to have some back and forth communication with her with regards to how her day was, who she spoke with, who she played with, who she hangs out with in the cafeteria. It went back and forth, and it seems as though what came from, whether it was a special ed attorney or whether it was the board attorney, I'm not sure, that it is a privacy consideration. They can't get their first name. However, guarantee that Valentine's lists went out this week. I guarantee that, that other things have happened. Students' first names are called in class, they're set as a roll, things like that. And so I just want to make sure that I have a better understanding, because in IDEA, restricting the student's ability to communicate is a violation. And so right now, because I'm asking for those first names, and I'm being told it's a privacy concern, like we're kind of at like a standstill, and it seems as though maybe the board's and the district's policy is more strict than even the law. And so just trying to, I'm sure it's hazy, I'm sure that there's case laws that have happened and trickled, and that's what makes it so gray. However, for students that have the inability to communicate, we're back to that. And so I want to be able to have that conversation with her. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, closing the public comments. I'll address Mr. Welsmuller first. I did address your concerns regarding the nepotism policy with our board attorney, and this was prior to even your email. And with the Ethics Commission, I'm fine and everything with that. And the whole board was made aware of all that. When you email the BOE, the BOE is not, we're not in session, so the BOE is only a BOE when we're at this dais, so that's why you only hear back from the board president, and I'll put the whole board on that, on those communications. Really, and the board's not in session, board members really have no authority except when we're on the dais. So that answers that. RFP, we did not have to go back out to RFP because we had just done that prior, I think it was like less than 6 months ago, so. Huh? Yeah, the first time we went to RFP, Ms. Schoen, you want to answer that? The first time, you're talking about the first time we went to RFP or this time now? Well, we didn't go to RFP the second time, but the first time we did it, I'll let Ms. Schoen speak about that. That was 6 months ago.
We've done 2 RFPs since I've been here.
Right.
One was October of '23, and then we did another RFP May of '25. So now, because it's less than 6 months old, we use the same criteria, and the board is interviewing the firms that were interviewed the last time.
Same firm.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. Policy for cell phones, I absolutely believe we will be looking into that for students that have the assistive technology. I know there's a lot of students that use an iPad and or their phone for communication purposes. That's absolutely will be taken into consideration when we start to adopt that. You have my word on that. And I absolutely agree with you. I don't understand who told you that. I would ask Dr. Banjo to look into that. I don't see that there's an issue. My son, I got first names. I know we do first names for Valentine's Day, so there has to be some way we can get parental permission or let kids know the first names just so parents can communicate that. I absolutely agree with you on that, and so there has to be some way to do that. So we will look into that and make sure that happens for sure, because that we have privacy laws. Everyone knows that, but there's also human loss too that we have for our students as well. So we just have to figure out how to do that and to expose the district and those students. But as long as we're not giving last names, I don't see why. Like my son Jake, we used to get names of his fellow students to work on him, like talking about who he talked with and different things. So I agree with you. If we can get names for Valentine's Day, we can certainly get names for our other students. Thank you. Going to old business for board members. Any old business for board members?
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Aquino.
I'd like an update on the 8th grade class trip to Washington and dual enrollment for our high schoolers, if we can.
Do we have any update right now on dual enrollment, or can we remand that back to CNT to report out?
We can remand that back to CNT.
Right.
We just talked about it like 2 months ago as
Okay.
far as the work that's been doing done.
Okay, and then,
And there's new additions.
Yes.
all right, perfect. That's great. So we get an update on that. And anything with the 8th grade field trip, can we remand that back to CNT as well?
As far as the future Washington DC trip, yeah, I can get more information
Perfect,
on that.
okay. Super, thank you. So we'll get that in March?
Yes.
Dr. B, thank you.
Could we add that to the CNT agenda, right? For,
Yeah, absolutely.
for both of those things?
You got that, Ms. Seth?
Got it.
We're rocking and rolling. New business from board members. Any other old business? I apologize. No? Any new business? Super. Board comments. Mr. Petrie.
I see that we got the invite from Mort to take a preview, so I would definitely recommend everyone going to that. They do a fantastic job.
It's 30 years, right? There's
Yeah,
the
30
invitation's
years.
30 years, yeah.
That's it.
And that's the weekend before spring break, just FYI for everyone. It's like the 28th, 29th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
29th.
so it may be tough for some people.
Tough. Yeah, it's the weekend of spring break, yeah.
But I get it. Yes, I agree.
That's it.
Ms. Melendez.
Well, I echo Mr. Petrie. You take a chance, go over there on March 28, 29 to see all the good things and how great those kids are. And experts in technology, STEM in general, and robotics. And it's amazing. You are going to be very proud.
Incredible. Ms. Brett.
Nothing for me.
Super. Ms. Aquino.
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. O'Neill. Ms. Fitzgerald.
Nothing from me.
Ms. Figuera.
I don't know if you were going to mention this, but I just wanted to mention we have our superintendent spotlight Wednesday night on special ed. So hopefully a lot of people will come out for that.
Good point. And nothing from the board president. Confidential session. Motion to recess into confidential session. Be it resolved that the Malibu Township Board of Education approves the attached list of professional, wrong one. Apologize. Resolved that the board meet in confidential session for the purpose of discussing personnel, matters of attorney-client privilege, pending or anticipated litigation. Be it further resolved that matters discussed in confidential session be disclosed to the public when the reasons for confidentiality no longer exist. Action may be taken. We are in closed session. Oh, can I have all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in closed session. We're back in session. Roll call, Ms. Schoening? Sorry.
Mrs. Aquino? Here. Mrs. Brett?
Here.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Mrs. Melendez?
Here.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Petrie?
Here.
Mrs. Figuera?
Here.
Dr. Giordano?
Here. Make a motion on 11.11, resolution for the residency hearing for student assigned ID number 650184442. Whereas on February 3rd, 2026, a committee of the Malibu Board of Education held a residency hearing for the above referenced student. And whereas on that date, the parent of the above referenced student attended and participated in the hearing. And whereas on February 9th, 2026, the committee, after having heard and considered all the proofs and testimony presented, recommended to the full board that it find, based upon the residency investigation performed by the board's Director of Security, that the student has not been domiciled within the Malif School District since January 1st, 2026. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the board finds that the above referenced student was not legally entitled to attend school in the district during the period from January 1st, 2026 through and including February 9th, 2026. And be it further resolved that the parent be assessed the tuition for the students and eligible attendants in the district schools in the total amount of $1,450. And be it further resolved that the board will consider entering into a payment plan agreement with the parent of student number 65018442 for the above owed tuition, and thereby authorizes the board's business administrator to negotiate such an agreement if requested by the parent, subject to the board's approval. Be it further resolved that the student be disenrolled from the district and that the parent inform the board where the student will attend school or otherwise receive an education pursuant to the New Jersey compulsory education law. Be it finally resolved that written notice of this decision and of the family's rights to contest the same before the Commissioner of Education shall be served upon the parent as required by law. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Ms. Schoening?
Mrs. Aquino?
No.
Mrs. Brett?
Yes.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
No.
Mrs. Melendez?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Petrie?
Yes.
Mrs. Figuera?
Yes.
Dr. Giordano?
No. Motion passes. Motion to adjourn?